Hey everybody, my name is Steven. This is a channel all about soccer referee education. This is a reflection on something I'm starting to realize in the last couple weeks, and feel free to put this on in the background. You don't really need to see my face. I'm just going to be talking to you and showing you a set of comms that I've been using a couple times and some of the things that I've realized from using these. So when I started off officiating, I always liked doing the centers. I liked having the whistle. I liked being the guy in control, the guy in the middle, the guy in power. Why? I like control. I like power. I was like responsible for something. I needed to like be in control. I liked having people's attention, and it like being in that position, having the whistle, it gave me something to do. It was like very active and involved, and it had my attention, right? And contrast this with my experience on the line was boring, being excluded, kind of being on my own, not really having an active role in the game, or so I thought. And when I say this to you, I'm doing, high school games, maybe, some D3 college games and stuff, and maybe some academy games, blah, blah. And so that's the first thing I want to say. Second thing I want to say is that when you are younger and you're doing lower level games or something, or you're doing games with teams that are not as good, you can ref the game as a center referee kind of by yourself, and whether or not you have ARs, you can still do a decent job, right? Like, you really need your ARs to call offside, and maybe a foul here or there, but at the younger levels, and what I was doing was, even if I didn't really trust my ARs or I wasn't super confident in them, we could still get through the game pretty well because I was in the middle and I felt confident about my abilities, and we get 80% of the calls right, or 90% or whatever, and we wouldn't make any game critical errors because I was fast and I could get there to see what I needed to see and done. And what I'm realizing, or what I realized over the last 2 weeks, is that as you do more and more advanced games, like maybe you're doing like adult competitive league games where like they're sending these long balls and you're on your horse running, and the field's so big that you can't cover the whole field on your own, and you get in these situations where you have to begin to rely on your ARs, your assistant referees. And where I used to think that a great referee was one who, was fast, had good foul recognition, in shape, could read the game, could manage the players, was fair, had safety first in mind, and all these other things, a new phrase came into my mind these last 2 weeks, and that phrase is teamwork. Because when you get into these upper level games, you can't, as a center referee, do it on your own. You cannot. And maybe it's what I'm thinking right now is the great referee is the referee that also builds the team, because the team, whether that's 3 or 4 officials, is needed to officiate this high-level contest. You have to have all 3 or all 4 people firing on 4 cylinders or at 100%, right? So how does the center referee, who's the leader of that charge, create the environment that helps everyone else perform at their best? And that's what I'm wondering and thinking about. Like, do I have to say something? Do I give the guys hugs? Do I give them high fives? Do I give them lots of compliments? Do I ride them? Do I bring them a Gatorade before the game? What do I do to create the environment that helps us as a crew to perform our best? Because when they perform their best, I perform my best, we perform our best, we do the best for the game. So when I was younger, it was like, it's all me, I'll just do this, I'll carry the game on my shoulders. But now, as I get older and do more difficult games, or games with better players and better teams, I need the crew together. So a buddy of mine let me borrow these Yap-along comms. I've used them like 3 or 4 times. And what's really cool about these is you can talk to your ARs and like during the whole game, hey, I saw this, I didn't see this, keep an eye on this guy. That's number 7's third foul. I just talked to number 6 about this. hey, 12 blue keeps coming in really hard, guys, let's watch that. Or hey, we got a tight matchup between these two players who are really being very aggressive, or blah blah blah. And we got this constant dialogue, this constant communication going, and it's taken the weight off my shoulders, and it's forced me to share. Like, I've got to let other ARs be involved, make big calls, participate. So it's not just me. I've had to let go a little bit and be like, no, it's not just going to be my show. It's our show together, right? Or we're helping to run the show together. So